First, I'd like to welcome you all here. Thank you so much. We appreciate this. You can tell how people really do care about their community because we're here. All right? We also, thank you. West Richmond and A.B. Green, as you know, we're very near and dear to our hearts. And West Richmond really mine because it was my grade school, okay? So it was very, very important that we do this. The reason for this event is to remember our schools, A.B. Green and West Richmond, Joseph Sear and the developers who worked to make this happen. They were gracious enough to come up with this event for us and work with us on this event so we could remember. That's right. Now, when they first submitted their plans and things, you know, we went through lots of trials and tribulations. A lot of people were not happy. You know, why are you doing this? This is a great space. What are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. But as a lot of you may not know, but Maplewood Richmond Heights School District sold the A.B. Green building as they were sort of downsizing and, you know, ran into some issues. So they sold it. It was sitting here vacant. We were glad nothing happened while it was sitting here vacant, you know. And then the church, which was next door, Lutheran Memorial, was also becoming vacated. They had a smaller church in there, but they eventually moved as well. And of course, the parsonage that was next door to them, the family moved out, you know, so there was really not much going on right here. But you know, it was still there. We could walk by and see it, drive by and see it, still have all those memories. So when he decided, you know, he was going to do this, of course, I'm Carmen Pace-McFerren. I'm sorry if y'all don't know. You probably do. But anyway, I work in the building department, so when Mr. Sear was coming in, having these meetings, talking about what he was going to do, showing the plans, I'm like, but Carmen, you got to do this. You know, this is your job. So I would talk to him all the time and say, but, you know, really, do you have to build this? Does it have to be that big? Do we have to da-da-da-da? And I said, well, the main reason I'm kind of torn is because it was my grade school. I took it personally, okay? So he talked about it, and he said, well, you know, we'll do something. We'll do something. So he did, and he is really a very nice person. He is very much, you know, concerned about us here. He knew what it was like. Every time we talked to him, he'd say, okay, you know, I'm still going to do this. Don't forget. When they first started tearing the school down, they had the trees where the plaques were for the two teachers, Mrs. Moberly and Mrs. Douglas. He brought the plaques to me. And that, you know, just warmed my heart. Because I knew he was really real and knew that we needed to do this. So we go on, you know, and then finally we say, okay, we're going to do it. Let's see what we're going to work out. So he said he's going to plant the tree out in the green space, which is between the building and the highway. A lot of you have probably seen that. And, you know, we kind of waited. Well, the weather was bad. Things were going on. You know, we got to get this done. So finally, we did it. Okay? And I want to tell you how good they are. It was raining so bad. They planted the tree yesterday in all that rain, okay? Is he not committed and his staff? I do want to also introduce Ellie and Trevor, their staff here at Altair, and they have been such a great help to us. But to have the tree planted in the rain, he wanted this done, okay? So we got to give him something. They also planted the plaques in there, and our forestry department, we're not called forestry anymore, parks department, made a little concrete box or whatever you want to call it to put the plaques on. They weren't even on those before. You know, they were planted way back in the day. Mrs. Moberly was here before I was ever here, okay? So they made them even better so they could put them in the ground, and then they raise up so you can read them. So when it dries up a little bit and gets nicer, go over there, look at that tree and those plaques, and thank Joseph Sear for that.
You know, in thinking about the name A.B. Green, for me it's special. See, because A.B. Green was my principal. I attended Lincoln School, which is now the Lutheran Senior Citizen Center right down in Cleveland. And for me, I was in the last graduating class of Lincoln School up under A.B. Green. That was 1964. Lincoln was actually built in 1932. It was built to take the place of old Lincoln School, which was on Yale Avenue, which became and rented by the MRH school district in 1911. And so then, as part and remembering that last class in A.B. Green, A.B. Green was tough, but he loved his students, and he gave us tough love. And I remember the teachers there, such as Miss Douglas. We're commemorating Miss Douglas with a plaque. Well, she was actually the second grade teacher in Lincoln. And those teachers there poured into me. I came from the city and came out here in the third grade, and the experience was totally different. Totally different. I had to be walked to school when I was in the city. The playground was dangerous. I seen some things in the second grade that you shouldn't see. Kids fighting, administrators, so forth. When I got out here, it was loving, nurturing. It developed the foundation.
Come on, man.
Okay? And most of the teachers actually lived in the community.
Right.
As an example, teachers here, okay, Coach Nellis lived here. Also, my next door neighbor, Mrs. Jones, lived and taught here. As we remember these buildings and commemorate these buildings, I'd like for y'all to honor and remember those educators in your lives that poured into you. Remember them and give them honor. And I would like us to remember and give them honor today, the educators, as well as giving honor to West Richmond and A.B. Green. Thank you.
Right.
Talk about A.B. Green and how he was tough love.
Yeah.
That was my mom.
Yeah, it's true.
Whatever she did in school, she did at home too. Whatever she could grab, you get hit with. Sorry. It was just what it was. And I was the oldest, so you know, sometimes the oldest gets the most of certain things. But as you grow up, you learn to appreciate
That's right.
what she taught you.
That's right.
You know. And lost her. I lived most of my life in Los Angeles, and getting ready to move back in another year or two. And I came home in 2017, and I saw her a week after Thanksgiving, and that's when she got ill. She had an aortic dissection, and I was there when it happened. So I was able to call the ambulance, and she got better, but it was just a hard recovery for an 83-year-old woman. Dr. Soren said, this happens to 60-year-olds, not 83-year-olds. But all in all, you know, I think the four of us, I'm the oldest of four, we appreciated her. And what I was thankful for is at the funeral, so many people from our grade school came up and said, "Hey, Mom, I love this community. I love Richmond Heights. You know, the school here was great. We got to interact with everyone. And when we all went to high school, we interacted with everyone. And when you go out in the world, or you go to college somewhere away from Missouri or in Missouri, wherever, you see people and sometimes you wonder, wow, what kind of upbringing did they have? And I think we just had the best. And, or one of the best anyway.
Now I'm gonna tell you like this. I got 11 brothers and sisters. We was on the food program where when you couldn't afford a large family to do meals, you know, they gave you these little cards. But this was the thing. If you were in a low financial status coming up, you would never know it. People never talked about what you had on, what you were going through. We were all treated equal. We were all treated the same. They didn't say, ooh, you on the food program and this and that. No, they fed everybody. And the cafeteria lady made sure that you had enough. Because if you didn't have enough, if you didn't eat at home, your breakfast or whatever, you would go back up and she would give you some more, Miss Pierce. Yeah, man. It's not about the brick and mortar. It's about the people. And like Reverend Garland Williams was saying, it comes from here. So with that tree, the roots of that tree is going to go down deep into the soil, into the ground. The root is going to feed the top part of the tree. The roots has already been planted in that tree. Those were the teachers and the people in our community. It is up to us to be fruitful, multiply, and to give back to our community. May God bless you. I'll turn it back to you.